Hey, it's Andy. I'm going to just turn this music down. I'm realizing it's a bit loud. Um, so this is a response to Kieran's contest of showing off a label. And I've recently, I think the first record from this label that I got was maybe just about less than a year ago. And I've since started hunting it out everywhere I go. The label is Enja Records. It's a German jazz label from the 70s that has a lot of like post-bop contemporary stuff. It's a little avant-garde sometimes, but it's a bit more dialed back than like Strata East from what I've heard. I haven't heard a lot of Strata East, but definitely more than like ESG or whatever the ESG discs. That stuff's really avant-garde relative to Enja. So I'm going to start by showing what I'm playing now. I think this is an Enja release as well, because there's something that I noticed, and that is there's a link somehow between Enja Records and Inner City. So this may not count as Enja. I couldn't find if it was ever released on that label, but this is Jackie McLean with a bunch of really great guys, Hank Jones, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams. This is new wine in old bottles, and it's again, it's on Inner City, but I've seen a number of crossovers between Inner City and Enja. So I'm going to sneak it in there as if it's an Enja. The cover looks very much like what Enja's covers look like in that period as well, so maybe somebody can tell me for sure. But if that's not, then you can just ignore that part and it won't be counted as an Enja. Now some stuff that's certainly on Enja. This guy seemed to have released a couple, like 4 or 5 records on that label. And this is more, this kind of Enja cover is more like their 70s stuff. I think this was released in 76. This is Dolar Brand, South African pianist. This is a really interesting record. It's got Cecil McBee on bass. I kind of wonder if Cecil McBee was the house bassist for Enja, because he seems to pop up on a lot of stuff I get from them, and I really like his style a lot. I've only listened to this once. I just got it the other night. Another thing that Enja likes to do is they always like to put a couple of bars from one of the songs on the back, at least the 70s ones do. I think that's kind of a cool thing to do, rather than just putting information about the recording. I can't read music, but if you can learn to play a couple of bars of The Dream, which is one of the songs on here. Sorry, Cat Attack again. Seems like he only wants to come up when I'm making videos. But okay, another one that I got the other night, and I listened to this like 3 times already. This is Mingus in Europe. This is something that Enja seemed to do. They would go back and find just a live show from some greats and press it and put it out. So the recording quality on some of these isn't great, but this one's actually pretty good. This is the 2nd edition. This is Mingus in Europe, Volume 2. But there's a Volume 1 that I haven't been able to pick up yet. But this has, Dolphy, Mingus, Danny Richmond on drums, Jackie Bard, however you say his name. It's got some really good stuff on it. So if you see this, I'd say pick it up. And what's great about these Enja releases is I've paid as much as like $25 for one, but often I see them under $10. Like that was, I think, $12 or something. So it's a really, if you see it, it's a very reasonably priced label to collect. And I found that the music's all very nice, some better than others. So once you get into the 80s, which this is a Max Roach. I'm trying to cover the prices because I don't care that you know, but it seems tacky for me to have the stickers on them still. So sorry about that. So this is a Max Roach. This is another live set that they had recorded from previously. This is with the Turrentine Brothers. And then I don't know these other two guys, Julian Priester and Bobby Boswell. But yeah, it's just, Bob Night in Tunisia's on here, a cover of that. A couple Kenny Dorham tunes. This is 1984, so they abandoned what I thought was a very nice looking style of cover, and they started doing these kind of cheesy 80s looking covers around this time. You get kind of a half naked woman, but that's about it. It's kind of stupid looking. So, but don't let that put you off, because even if it looks really cheesy, sometimes the music is really great. Here's another one from the 70s. I have not listened to this one yet. This is, I have no idea what this is going to sound like. Hill Country Suite, Bobby Jones, George Mraz, and Freddie Waits. I got it because it's on Enja, and also Hill Country is what this part of Texas is called, just to the west of Austin. So it'd be interesting to hear what it sounds like. It's a clarinet, bass, drums combo, which sounds interesting too. And again, they put a little bit of the tune on the back there. So if you play clarinet, or if you play clarinet, you can play the Gospel Truth off of this, off the Hill Country Suite. And this is a 74 release. So again, it seems like Enja Records 70s have black and white with white music on the background, very little to no notes. The 80s releases seem to have photos of something on the front, no music on the back, which I don't know why they got rid of that. And some of them are digitally mastered. I don't know if it's digitally mastered or if it's just a bad set or something, but the sound on this Max Roach is not as good as the sound on that Mingus. So I wouldn't recommend that Max Roach unless you can get it for like $5, which is actually what I paid. I've shown this one before, but I actually have 2 copies of this now. I saw another one for like $8 and grabbed it because it's such a good record. This is Black Glory, Mal Waldron trio setting. Again, a 70s pressing. You get some music on the back. It's really cool. This is such a great record. I love it. It's the first Enja that I ever, not the first one I ever got, but the first time I ever like stood up and said, "Oh, that's a label I should start collecting." This is the New York Jazz Quartet. This has that guy George Mraz on it. This is pretty interesting. It's got a Miles Davis tune on it and a few of their own compositions. I got this while I was in Canada. It's got the music on the back. That's pretty good. I've only listened to it a couple times though. I should give it a good in-depth listen. There's another copy of that Mal Waldron. So if I ever get within spitting distance of a lot of subscribers, I can do a contest and give away one of those Mal Waldron records. This one is something that I picked up and I've just been loving. I've already shown it once, I think. But this is an Enja recording, Cecil McBee, with Chico Freeman and some other guys who I don't recognize. Man, this is like spiritual, but a little free and just really good stuff. Especially the first side, which I've actually done. I've done a needle drop of the first side that I'll be posting here on YouTube because I don't think this label's around anymore, so I don't think they're going to get on to me for it. So if you see that, pick it up. That's one that you can find on Inner City as well. I almost grabbed a second copy the other day, but it wasn't on Enja at all. It just said Inner City. So again, there seems to be some connection between Inner City and Enja. Another Mal Waldron, this one I already showed. This has Steve Lacy on it. It's a lot freer, a lot more avant-garde sounding. It's a 70s pressing, that black and white. This one has a black cover around it, and again, the music on the back. If you're going to get one of the Mal Waldrons, I'd get the other one, the Black Glory, but Hard Talk is pretty good too. Here's another one. This one is quite different from the others. This is 1981, Cecil McBee with Hampton Hawes and Roy Haynes on drums. No music at all, just a weird shirtless, I think that's Hampton Hawes, I'm not sure, but it looks like a weird, like, tripped out guy right there, doesn't he? Has some very patchy chest hair. That's pretty good, but I wouldn't say it's awesome. Here's one that I like the cover a lot. This one, again, it says Enja, but it's actually Inner City. So who knows? Tommy Flanagan, Red Mitchell, and Elvin Jones. I had grabbed that before I knew what Enja was because I love Elvin Jones. But it's actually a really enjoyable listen. I see this around actually for like $2 or $3. You got to get that if you see it. I think that might have been the last one actually. Oh, I should have saved something that I'm super psyched for last. Essentially, I wouldn't say that any of this stuff is like, you know, you have to get it as soon as you get into jazz, except possibly this Mal Waldron. This is really great. But they're all solid. Like none of them suck. Okay, like none of them make you want to turn off the record. So I would say it's always going to be safe to grab an Enja record, and you can usually get them for under $20, often under $10. So if you see them, grab them up. All right, so that's my entry for Kieran's label collection. I plan to have a lot more of these Enjas soon. I have a few coming in the mail, but I wanted to make this while I still had few enough that the video wouldn't be too long. All right, talk to you guys later.